Mr. Janko, I know the answer. Cody stood up once again, gaining the attention of the crowd. Since he had embarrassed himself earlier, he had to redeem himself this time. Please, go ahead. Keanu nodded slightly. The beginning of everything, the end of everywhere. The beginning of eternity, the end of time and space. This poem conveys a sense of uncertainty and sadness, hence, my answer is death. Cody answered with his head raised. Death. The crowd broke into a quiet discussion. Some of the VIPs who pretended to be knowledgeable regretted not being quicker in their responses. I was just about to say death, but this guy beat me to it. What a rookie mistake. Me too. If only I hadn't hesitated, this young man wouldn't have stolen the spotlight. Death seems like a profound answer. Everyone thought that was the answer since Cody answered so confidently. How about it, Mr. Janko? Did I get it right? Cody smirked, looking smug. I'm sorry. You're wrong again. Keanu responded politely. What? Wrong again? The smile on Cody's face froze. Mr. Janko, you're not joking, are you? How can I joke about something like this? You indeed have the wrong answer. Keanu shook his head. After hearing this, Cody and the rest of the students of Harmony Healers looked at Harper with puzzled expressions. How is that possible? I clearly understood the poetic sentiments behind those lines. Why am I still wrong? With her eyes widened, Harper found it hard to accept. She was a prodigy, so how could she make consecutive mistakes? Mr. Ostrower, seems like you're putting your hopes on the wrong person, Lana said. She added sarcastically, Harper is arrogant and self-absorbed. It's unfortunate that she has no real talents. How can you believe her? You'd be better off throwing wild guesses. Cody's eyes twitched. For a moment, he didn't know how to respond. It was humiliating. One wrong answer could be seen as a mistake. But now he had given 2 wrong answers, and he was the first to answer each time. It looked pretty bad. Lana Cameron, don't be too smug. Even though I'm wrong, I'm still better than you. You can't even answer, Harper shouted. Who said I can't answer? Lana smiled faintly and snapped her fingers. Tell her the correct answer. Sure. The scholarly man beside her stood up and said, I am the beginning of everything, the end of everywhere. I'm the beginning of eternity, the end of time and space. Everything begins with the letter E, and everywhere ends with E. Eternity begins with E, and space ends with E. The correct answer is the letter E. What a load of crap. How could it be the letter E dash? Harper was about to argue when Keanu said, Ms. Cameron is correct. The answer is indeed the letter E. Harper choked on her words, freezing on the spot. She couldn't believe it. If only one person had given that answer, she would have surely scoffed. If 2 people gave the same answer, she could have still argued her point. The problem now was that all 3 of them had given the same answer. How was she supposed to argue her case? I'm surprised that Dustin had the right answer. We lost our chance. What a pity. If only we listened to Dustin. The students from Harmony Healers lamented as they shook their heads. They had thought Harper would have a surefire victory when they saw her confidence. But to everyone's disappointment, she had answered 2 questions incorrectly. On the other hand, Dustin was unremarkable yet consistently provided the correct answers. It was unfortunate that no one believed him. At that moment, everyone looked at Dustin differently. He was the true diamond in the rough. Ms. Cameron has won 2 rounds in a row. If this continues, we're at risk of losing Harmony Healers. Brooks' eyebrows were set into a deep frown, looking grim. If only he knew this would happen, he never would have agreed to this gamble. If they lost, he would lose half of his life's work. Lana obviously came prepared. We've fallen into her trap. This woman is despicable. The students of Harmony Healers grumbled in anger, but there was nothing they could do. There was no turning back now. The bet had been made in public. They couldn't just go back on their word. Their only option was to find a chance to turn the tables. They heard Lana's mocking tone once more. Harper, you lost again. A few more rounds and Harmony Healers will be mine. Don't celebrate too soon. We're just getting started, Harper said darkly. She had heard that there would be 10 riddles in total. As long as she answered 6 correctly, victory would still be theirs. She still had a chance to turn the situation around. You can't even answer 2 simple riddles. Do you really expect to perform well with the remaining ones? What a joke. I'd suggest you give up early to save yourself from further humiliation, Lana taunted. The final winner hasn't been determined yet. Let's wait and see. Harper was seething with anger. Fine, let's see how talented you are. With a faint smile, Lana turned to Keanu. Mr. Janko, let's continue. All right. Keanu nodded and took another card from the box. Dear guests, please listen to the third riddle carefully. He read, this building has the most stories, with floors to climb and dreams to pursue. This building has the most stories. As the riddle was presented, the attendees began to think about it. Typically, the answer to riddles was hidden within itself. But this should be an exception if it were this easy. I've got it. Harper's eyes lit up after thinking about it for a moment. She said, Cody, it's the Omnisphere Tower. The Omnisphere Tower? Cody was taken aback. Harper continued with great enthusiasm. Think about it. The answer was pretty straightforward earlier. And I know for sure that the Omnisphere Tower has the highest number of floors. It must be it. Cody remained skeptical. The Omnisphere Tower? The Omnisphere Tower has 170 floors. No other building has more stories than it. It's the most direct answer to this simple riddle, Harper insisted. Cody frowned. It just sounds too easy. He had already lost confidence in Harper after her previous 2 incorrect answers. Cody, just trust me one last time. I promise we'll get it this time. Harper swore. Cody's mouth twitched. He wanted to yell at her but restrained himself. This again. She swore with confidence every time, but the results were disappointing. He found himself having to bear the burden of her mistakes as the attendees pointed fingers at him. It was embarrassing. If it weren't for them being colleagues, he would have lost his temper. Dustin, what do you think? Ignoring Harper, Cody looked at Dustin. Does it matter what I think? No one believes me anyway. It's better if I stay silent. Dustin continued having his meal leisurely. Clearing his throat, Cody promised, it's my fault for underestimating you. I'll trust you for sure this time. Cody, what do you mean by that? Harper was upset. Who does he think he is? Can he even be compared to me? Are you telling me you'd rather trust an outsider? Just shut your mouth. Cody yelled at her. I trusted you twice, but you got it wrong both times. How am I supposed to trust you again? Harper was rendered speechless. Her face reddened. Cody was like a brother to her. He had never raised his voice against her. What had gotten into him today? Harper, this is not child's play. You made a bet with Lana. If we lose, we'll lose Harmony Healers. Cody softened his tone and said sincerely, besides, your talent lies in the literary arts. Your strength is not in riddles. You should let Dustin give it a try. He was determined to win. He couldn't let Harmony Healers and Enchanting Elegance fall into someone else's hands. Allowing someone else to act recklessly was also out of the question. Fine, I'll give him a chance to showcase his skills. But once he answers incorrectly, I'm stepping in again. That way, you might still have a chance. Harper pouted but eventually gave in. No problem. Cody let out a sigh of relief and looked at Dustin again. Dustin, why don't you share your answer with us? What is it? A building that has the most stories with floors to climb and dreams to pursue should be a library, Dustin said calmly. A library. That makes so much sense. Cody thought about that answer for a while before a delighted smile spread across his face. What a brilliant answer. Harper's Omnisphere Tower was just unconvincing. He immediately knew that library was the correct answer. Cody, don't get too excited. Who knows if this is the real answer? What if he's wrong? Harper poured cold water on the enthusiasm. Then I'll happily admit that I'm wrong. Cody suddenly stood up and proclaimed loudly, Mr. Janko, I have the answer to the third riddle. Mr. Ostrower, aren't you a little too hasty? You've gotten 2 answers wrong. If you get a third one wrong, it'll be embarrassing, Lana suddenly said.